The World Fitness Project is finally here in Indianapolis.
Let's go. Danielle Brandon, WFP Tour Stop 1. How many games have I unplugged, flipped the board game? Like, I'm that person. I am competitive. I know usually when I'm in the wrong, but also I'm not afraid to just be an athlete and be a competitive athlete. I've been that way my whole life. And you don't see in other sports people apologizing for these things. I don't really think about it too much because I think I'm just in my zone doing my own thing. Screw the haters, honestly.
Pat Vellner, WFP Season 1, Stop 1. You know, it's cool, we don't get to do new stuff all that often. You know, I've been competing in this field for over 10 years now. I think there's a lot of excitement just that it feels fresh. There's a buzz, it feels really alive right now. Everybody wants to take a pro card and nobody wants to lose one, right? So it makes it kind of compelling over the course of weekends, over the course of the season, to see who's performing well, who's at risk of losing out in the next season.
It's the first competition of this organization, of this series. It's just more opportunity to compete with the best, which I think is cool.
Yeah, like there's some risk of falling out, but no more so than what we're used to, where it's a one-shot deal, and if you don't perform one weekend, then you're out automatically. Look, I think change is hard. You know, it's not something I'm not prepared for. Like, I've thought about it lots. I mean, I've thought about retiring every year for a long time. You're right, the field's strong. Like, the guys are strong, and frankly, like, the competitive field's in good hands. That's natural progression of sport. You can't be naive and think that you're just gonna hang around forever.
Danielle Brandon just needs to hang on here.
Pat Vellner, the ghost, as I like to call him, because he's so white. I'm always worried he needs sunscreen. Even if it's a full moon, we got to get that guy some SPF.
Have you seen him with no shirt? Like, that guy's been on the podium, been to the games like more times than I could count.
He has been at the height of the sport basically since he broke into it. 10 years at the top.
Is one of the most well-spoken, smart individuals who holds down a regular job and is a father of 2.
Pat is not the guy that necessarily has the clean run. He doesn't have that squeaky clean competition. He's gonna break some eggs, and then he's gonna pull himself back up, and then come back swinging, and then really, you know, end up at the end of the weekend in that podium hunt.
He's like a fit Ed Sheeran.
Danielle has something different about her.
No matter what, you have a reaction to her in some way.
You know, she's loud, she's brash. I can see how she could be polarizing to some. I'm a big believer in that if you ain't got some haters, then you might be doing something wrong. You're almost like you're too cookie cutter.
Every competition will have one event. Well, she'll put on a performance that is so awesome, and she does it in such a way that it's a spectacle.
We're in Indianapolis for the first tour stop of the World Fitness Project, the inaugural season, Season 1.
I think this is my big first individual competition since Rogue in Scotland last year. Is it gonna be like other competitions that we've done? How are they gonna corral us? How are they gonna handle us as athletes? What is warm-up gonna look like? What's before an event gonna look like, and after, and all of that, and time in between? Not super anxious. I know Will Morad being on the WFP team, like, he's not gonna do anything he wouldn't wanna do himself as an athlete.
Will Morad, World Fitness Project, Tour 1. Yeah, I competed in this sport for a really long time. My first games was in 2014. Fast forward to now, taking on the role as the World Fitness Project Director of Sport. It's been incredible. You know, I'm not losing the touch points with the guys and the girls.
Who used to rock jean shorts?
Yeah,
Ronnie Coleman?
That works.
Did I make up that name?
Checks.
You're lying. You're disagreeably nodding, right? Agreeable nodder right now.
Something to be cherished, you know, those relationships with the other athletes. I'm thankful for those, and being able to create something that provides incredible opportunities for them is special to me. It's something I'm not taking for granted, so it's been a good transition, to say the least.
So this season, we've got signed pros onto the tour that there's 20 men, 20 women who've signed on to go to the 3 events that the World Fitness Project is putting on. At each event, they fill out 10 more spots, so the field that competes is 30. People can sign in through an online qualifier and try to qualify to fill out that roster of 30. If you finish in the top 10 on the qualifier, you get a temporary pro card for the next event.
You really got to show up, because if you don't compete and do well enough, you're not going to earn enough points, and then before you know it, you have this category that's underneath the pros called the challengers. They're coming for your spot.
And they compete in a separate division. The weights are a little lighter, the workouts are more or less the same. You still earn points in the challenger division, so if you just miss the cut in the first tour stop and you win the challenger division and then you make the cut for the second stop, you compete with a temporary pro card, and at the end of the year, the top 20 get offered pro cards for next season.
If you're an up-and-coming athlete and you're trying to make this a career, it's giving you the path to kind of get there.
Morning.
Morning, Pat.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good. Trying to organize my life a little bit.
Yeah. No family this time?
Oh, it's so much quieter in here. It's easy. It's life on easy mode. Easy to look after just myself. It is Friday, May 9th. It's the first day of the first World Fitness Project event. Nice to kind of be able to take care of myself and try to make it good, and then we'll go from there.
You know, even when I started my first season competing, you know, on major circuits, I was already 26, which now the guys that are starting out that are really competitive are much younger than that. Yeah, I'm the oldest man in the field now. I'm a huge mainstay at this point, and it's fun to take that as a challenge to be like, hey, how long can I gatekeep the young guys and try to keep standing in the way of progress? But it's getting harder and harder.
This is my own toast. Not provided by the hotel.
This is all you're gonna eat?
Is that weird? Just like a bunch of toast? It is kind of weird.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's nutrient dense.
Just toast?
It's okay.
We just got carbs. Just need something down. Yo, thank you.
I just saw fucking. Oh, what up? Shit, sorry. When you feel like you leave like a lot of fitness on the table, right? And you leave workouts saying like I have more in me, and I'm like, well, if it's true, then like let's see that more, you know? Just bury yourself and find out where that limit is, so that you know, and then you can apply it to training in the rest of the season, because you got a lot of events ahead of you, so you might as well learn something here.
Yeah.
How's the body been after semifinals, going into first day here?
I'm not nervous, but I'm curious to see how my shoulders feel. But I think it'll be fine. We'll see.
I have found, I've moved a lot. Like, I haven't lived in Alberta for, 13 years probably. Where we are now still doesn't feel quite like home.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Do you train in your garage, or have you been going to an affiliate?
Kind of like half and half. There's a gym not far, but it's just sometimes work to dodge classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's certain classes that they run a lot of stuff there, and they'll run Pilates classes and yoga classes and stuff where like you can't even just be like in the background making noise.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about other people's schedules when you train at home. So that's been kind of nice to have the ability to do that now, but you lack the social aspect of it. So I need to make more of an effort this summer to go in and just see people and hang out and make some more friends there.
There's times in my life, obviously, when I'm in a competitive environment or like heightened emotion environment, like the DB you see on the floor, sure, maybe a little bit of that will come out in those scenarios. But for the most part, I think I'm like pretty chill. Like when I'm chill, I'm chill. And when I'm not chill, I'm not chill. That's the best way to put it.
I think sometimes there's pressure for athletes to be this really like sanitized, distilled version of themselves where you're only showing like the best and you're putting on the best at all times. And Danielle's just like, screw that. Like, I am who I am. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna let it rip. And if sometimes I lose it a little bit and I show some emotion and it comes out in a way that people aren't used to, or maybe is not their flavor, so be it.
I usually start earlier in the day at home, and it feels weird to me to get up, kind of eat, twiddle my thumbs a little bit, go have a nap, or I don't know, I feel like I want to just start moving, and if I wait too long, it feels like my body almost decides we're having a rest day today and like we're not doing anything. So it always feels weird. We started around 3 o'clock. Afternoon, you start getting a bit itchy and you want to start doing something.
I think every coach is looking at this workout and like just hoping that no one's overdoing it in the first couple of rounds, because it's just a lot of running. It's like 75% of the time, if not more than that, you're running. So
yeah,
and you're getting caught up in a rounds per time workout. And the movements on the floor are extremely dynamic. They spike your heart rate. They're very powerful. So there's no relief anywhere. So for Pat, I know that he's a smart athlete, so I'm not too worried about him going too hard on the first couple of rounds. But you never know. Competition gets the best of you sometimes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go by feel on the run. I know the feeling of redlining all too well, and I know my body really well, so I knew I wanted to push the run, but obviously didn't want to start out super hot, didn't want to start off too slow.
I haven't been doing a ton of running leading into it just because it's been winter in Canada. I've kind of had some trouble with my knees in the back half of last year, so I've been being a bit careful to start the season off with how much. I've been on load management a little bit for that kind of stuff.
Pat Vellner, Chelsea, Canada.
The heat that I was in was fast. Every man in that heat has basically had success in a workout like that at this level.
Danielle, Florida, USA.
We also have a tendency to start too fast, so I kind of knew that some of the guys at least were going to fire out of a cannon.
Plenty of strategies going on.
I played it pretty cool and was relaxed for 3 rounds or so.
Which one is going to work best? We're going to find out.
Efficiency on the rings, no missed reps there is going to be important.
I was actually in a good lane for the workout. I was in lane 8, so it was nice because I got to see them all ahead of me, and then I knew I was getting to the rings first. I saw that I was in a race.
Going to get a little bit tighter. Alex Kazan, Danielle Brandon.
I saw her running to her bar, and I saw she was kind of like nonchalantly running, and so I was like, all right, like I can like hustle to my bar. I was just thinking like, oh, I'm so dead, like I'm gonna do singles.
Danielle Brandon, touch and go.
Then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like go for it and see what happens. I don't know why I shifted, but I did, and it paid off, and I won that heat.
Danielle Brandon, she will take the win, 17:55.
I thought no chance am I hitting this.
I didn't have the jump at the end that I wanted, but got in okay. I think I had practiced that workout once at home. You know, it wasn't a great finish in the field, but not for lack of effort. It just didn't happen, and go figure, when you don't do something, you aren't as good at it anymore.
Vellner in at 17:13.
During that, like in the fourth round or something, like it's so brutal when you're in a hard running workout and you're like 3/4 in, it's like you're just kind of suffering. Like I'm fully like counting my strides on the run. And it was like, I do run about like 80 strides a minute. So I was doing roughly like 200 strides per lap. At about 110 strides, I'm halfway. And so I'm like counting every step, and then you have like a camera guy running backwards next to you. And you're just like, fuck. You're like, oh, okay. You're like, that's how slow we're going. Yeah, all right. It felt a lot faster in my head, right?
I was waiting for you to be like, hey, get the fuck away from here or something.
If I could run faster at that point, I would have tried to like chase you away. But
So this morning, we said this was our biggest worry for the weekend.
Yeah, I was the most nervous for this one. I think because I think deep down I knew like you had to run kind of hard and it was gonna hurt. And with running workouts, I always am by feel, so I kind of knew I would have to just make the choice. And you know, you always get nervous whether or not you're going to make the choice, and luckily I did.
You had one of the earlier lanes, so even though they were in front of you, you guys would jump up on the rings at the same time.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. It was a cool race at least.
Is that fun?
Yeah, it was
to
fun.
race like that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I like ran to the last bar and I was like, I ain't doing touch and go. I was like, I don't got it in me. Like those singles were so hard. And then I was like, fuck up. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, how do I know? Yeah. I was like, ooh, I'm making these look kind of good. And I was like, you are one of the best in the world at snatches. Let's go. I beat a lot of good people, I guess. A bunch of chumps beat me though.
We've had this very zero-sum kind of win-or-go-home season, and it's cool to have a tour structure now where there's kind of a few chances to show up and perform, and it's more about rewarding consistency over time. It takes a little bit of pressure off of athletes to not feel like I better not catch a cold the wrong weekend this year or my season's over. And that's something that we've been looking for a long time. I think it gives us a chance to perform and show yourself better and have a better representation of yourself.
But I think still providing an opportunity and a touch point for people that don't make that pro division to get a little bit of a taste, but understand that there's still more work to be done. Those are the little things that I think help drive development and push the sport forward beyond the just like, well, you didn't make it, go back and train kind of thing.
Go. Same thing with the reps on the GHDs, 2 reps here. When there's a good workout for him, he gets a little bit quiet. When things are like, he's less frantic than he was. He wasn't frantic, but he's just a little bit more reserved and calm because he knows what he got to do. Yeah.
Should I try this bullshit? Should I try this thing?
Sandbag cleans, I'm like pretty confident with them. I do them a lot in training, but because Rogue, I sucked at them so badly, I literally choked. I don't know if I've ever choked that badly on a movement that I'm good at. So I was like definitely a little bit nervous of how I'd be able to handle those on the competition floor, just because I don't even know what the fuck happened at Rogue.
Danielle Brandon has to go back. I don't know if she got hit with a no rep. Looked to be some confusion there.
It's getting easier the more we work together and the better like our relationship gets. The notion that like she's hard to work with or any of that, like I haven't experienced that. Every athlete is different and every athlete is gonna require something different from a coach. And honestly, like I encourage like passion, I encourage like be the full version of yourself because that's what's gonna allow you to shine on the floor.
Danielle Brandon, Florida, USA.
Final 10 minutes of day number 1.
Maybe we'll see the standings flip on its head today.
It was a fast workout and we knew it would be. Like you had to move the bag bordering on recklessly and you had to be reckless on the GHD and be confident on your hands.
I was just ready to attack that workout. It had handstand walks, so I knew I could recover there after GHDs. Sandbag cleans were easy. It was just a GHD workout. I was perfect on my hands.
The back half on the handstand walk, I lost a little bit of steam. I didn't feel like I was fooling around out there, but I was a minute off the pace.
Vellner gets done just after that 8-minute mark. Brandon, what a start to competition for her.
I think I got 3rd in that workout.
That was kind of a shock at the end of day 1 to just feel like, yeah, I mean, I had nothing else to give either one of those workouts, but I was just behind. And that doesn't happen to me often, but it's a bit of a reality check when it does.
I felt a little bit like I might have some diarrhea, like right before we started.
I know.
I
noticed
that. Line being like, man, I can shit myself on this first clean. But I think if I can get through these like 8 cleans.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like whenever we do hard running workouts, I like.
He has the runner's trot.
My stomach gets fucked up.
What did you eat this morning?
This morning, I had oatmeal and a little bit of toast and some eggs. I had a bagel with some cream cheese and like a little bit of sandwich meat.
Those are correlations that maybe if you have too much fat on the day of running, it just doesn't settle.
The question always for me, I've had a lot of slow starts, and I think one of the things I've been really good at is not letting that affect my confidence to make decisions moving forward and just wash it away and say, hey, look, we have to take the next at bat and you got to swing.
He's always known for like having just a dramatic, epic fail in day 1 of a competition and climbing back to like 2nd place.
I am sitting in first leading up to the 2nd day.
Dressed for NASCAR.
Yeah. This very the infield.
I said, I was like, you fit the bill.
Yeah. Who's your favorite driver?
How do you say it, Joseph or Joseph?
Oh, okay, that guy?
Yeah.
We're checked in, we've done a ton of media. First thing on the list to do, we went to the Indy 500 track, We got to meet 3 athletes. It was really cool to learn about their training, how much they actually don't drive to train for what they do.
Cool to just engage with the local activities here and meet other professionals in their field, so it was really fun.
We got to take a lap, which was crazy, very fast. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. I guess I'll put my seatbelt on.
I would recommend.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's all we need. We were just like casually talking. I'm just freaking hammering him with questions, and then we just start going fast, and I was like, oh, okay, this is so casual. So this is a dumb question, but Indy 500, does that have anything to do with Indianapolis? Or no?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So this track, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so we were the first 500-mile race, ever. So Indy is just short for Indianapolis. That's all it is.
Okay.
So that's how it's got its name.
But why do they call the sport, what's... Wow.
Why is the name that?
Yeah, they call it the general... Wow.
So,
oh my god.
So it got its name because of the type of car they were racing.
Yeah.
It started here, so they started calling them Indy cars.
Oh my god.
Is that the fastest you've probably gone in a car?
I didn't look. I've been over 100 in a car.
Okay.
I've been 120 in a car.
Okay, so that was similar to that?
Yeah, that was really fast.
Okay.
And it was so casual. Way too casual. Yeah, that was sick.
I asked him right after, I'm like, hey, so we got to about 135 miles per hour going to the corner.
Yeah.
I'm like, how fast do the Indy cars go here?
Yeah.
And he's like 240.
Oh shit.
Another 110 miles per hour. I was like, man. Because just feeling that, and I mean, you feel the acceleration and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you get close to the corner, me being even to take the corner at this speed, you'd get yanked around.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then, man, doing the corner at double that speed, holy.
We also went and got to coach classes at affiliates around the town, basically. We were kind of split into teams, and everybody kind of went to a different class or a different gym, and we got to kind of pop in and just meet some of the locals and hang out at local gyms, which was really cool.
We're coaching some CrossFit, doing a little fitness, answering some questions.
We're motivating the people.
Are you guys counting right? Are you sure? I don't see any other team. We're gonna roll the footage back.
You were doing handstand walks. And I only know it's you because he said it was you and you had the sleeve. Yeah. And I was like, that was the first time I had seen CrossFit, and I'd be like, oh, so you can be feminine, sexy, tattooed, and be a badass. And I signed up right after that.
Oh my god.
So thank you.
No, that was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's tour week. There's an aspirational component to that these athletes have in this community, and now that we're helping facilitate those interactions, which is incredible for the WFP, it's incredible for the fitness community, and I think that is what they should really look forward to. It's tour week.
Community on 3, 1, 2, 3. Community!
Day 2, woke up, I actually felt good. I recovered really well.
So it was.
How are you doing this morning?
Chilling, trying to touch some grass right now. We're gonna go get coffee at Rivet Coffee. There's not much else. Chill in the sun. Get the circadian rhythm right.
There you go.
I've had many athletes that I've worked with. Pat and I just work on an intellectual level, it works really well. Emotional level, it works really well. But Pat is an extremely coachable person. He will listen to you. Sometimes he'll bite back a little bit and he'll fight back. And I was also like that. So it's hard to take it sometimes when you're both in a really emotional place. But he is extremely intelligent and understands his role, understands my role. You got it, come on. Clean, squat. You're feeling flat, so that means that you have to look at it one round at a time. That's your carrot is finishing that round and always going back to that bar. So every time you transition, you're looking at one thing and you're zoning in on that one.
This was the workout that I just kind of wanted to get out of the way. I knew it was going to be my worst place finish. I definitely didn't really trust my squats. I just wanted to control the workout as much as possible to make sure I had a lot of energy for the clean into the front squats. And I practiced it a little bit, so I thought I had an idea of how it would feel or how it could feel.
We planned that workout as if we would like any other, and we were deciding to take a fairly aggressive strategy from the start with some confidence that I'd be able to ride it out.
Day 2 of the World Fitness Project.
I mean, I ripped my hands to pieces on the 3rd round of a 6-round workout, which didn't help my cause any.
Actually on the floor, it ended up going really smooth. After, I was like, dang, like, this was a cool moment. I think I can learn, like, my squatting's great right now. My gymnastics is fine. I just needed to trust my fitness a little bit more. It was my worst finish, technically, but I couldn't really be mad about it. Like, I didn't really have any regrets. I did what I did with what I had, mentally and physically.
Again, my pulling and my grip wasn't where I thought it was, and I sort of ran into a wall in the last round and a half. At the end of it, all I had to show was another bad finish and ripped hands, which doesn't help my weekend. After the 3rd one, it was very frustrating. That was one I thought I could be quite successful at, and just kind of bonked it. And then, like, the weekend's gone there, like, you're out of control, and people are too good to be making mistakes 3 events in a row. So at that point, it is what it is. You have to face reality and make decisions accordingly from then on. But yeah, it was a bit of a bummer. I was bummed out after that one. That was a frustrating one that I felt like got away.
You'll stay inside the top 5 probably. Honestly, you like pace it really well. Like you stayed in your lane.
I wish like.
It's just at the end there,
Yeah.
like when all 4 of y'all were running to the bar, it's just like, and I know it's like heavy, so it's hard to say I'm gonna go and like try to make it, but
And I would have rather like hit it rather than like
fail.
I've been really upset if
That would have been
failed.
more time, yeah. Just more trust to be built
Yes.
in yourself.
Yeah.
But I think this is like positive,
Yeah.
because then you'll watch it and you'll go like my squats actually look good for like a really heavy weight.
Yeah.
And then you'll see how it looked for like some of the stronger girls
Yeah.
that were like with their heart rate higher,
Yeah.
it looked like worse.
Yeah.
So.
At any point you don't want to talk to us, just let me know.
Okay. It just sucked. I mean, I tried to be pretty aggressive on the gymnastics, and I ripped my hands up in the 4th round, and then it wasn't really awesome anymore. And I blew my grip up, like the pull on the 265 and 275 bar was super shitty. But I got like 2 fat blisters on that hand, one big one on this hand.
Why don't you go to Medic and see what they can do, and then go back to your Airbnb or your hotel, sorry. I'm not going to speak for Pat, because I think sometimes his goals he keeps close to his heart just because that's kind of how he is. But my goals for Pat is to have solid, consistent performances throughout, but to really take this first year to learn a little bit on how we need to adjust things, right? I think there's a big elephant in the room now. Pat's old. If you look at the other athletes, he's older than other athletes by like, I don't know, 10, 12 years. We need to learn how to do his training for this type of competition. So this first weekend was kind of like a check-in, and we're learning a lot about the events. We're learning a lot about how athletes are managing these events. And so we're gonna have a really good conversation after this event to make a plan for the next event without trying to win that event specifically. Like, obviously, if he wins that event, I'm not gonna stop him. But I think my goal for him is to have, 3 solid competitions, and hopefully the final being his best one. There's a few things, like, yeah, he's not doing amazing right now. I mean, he had huge life change lately. Moved, had a baby, and then like just a lot of life things that have been going on, coupled with the fact that we are really just putting our chips more later in the season. So doing some baseline work now, and it sucks. No one wants to come into a competition not feeling amazing. Just kind of reset button for now and continue to focus on Copenhagen, but try and potentially just, you know, get in a better spot for Mesa.
Fourth one was a two-parter. We had a 1 rep max split jerk. Split jerk's no friend to me. A lot of heavy overhead stuff is not, that's not where I'm most comfortable. The last time I hit a best split jerk was 2017. And so, I mean, we went out and I had a plan of how to go up, and I kind of went off the plan at some point because the lifts were going well. My second last lift was 371, which was a 6-pound best for me. And I went up another 5 from there and hit a 376 to finish. So it was an 11-pound best.
That was a good lift.
At 34, I think any time at my age, you're able to see actual improvement in metrics. That was kind of cool. It was a surprise, I think, to both myself and my coach. So
the competitors have to bring their best to stay on top.
I was excited because I had a fire fit. I had a Caitlin Clark jersey, so that was a good pull through, and I love to rock a jersey, so I was pretty confident that it would be like a solid finish. I didn't think it would be anything crazy, especially because I push jerk, so I know I'm probably giving up a little bit of weight there. Felt really fun. It was nice. The lighting kind of made it feel like you were just like in your own zone. I hit 4 lifts, 235, 245, 250, 257, and then 262.
Bit of a power jerk. Danielle Brandon will like that.
I guess I was definitely stressing Elle and everyone out that I was only doing 4 lifts, whereas everyone else hit like 6 to 7 lifts.
Olivia Kirstener, 132 kilos.
I actually loaded my freaking bar wrong, and luckily my judge caught it. It was a bit panicky of a moment because I was like, dang, I cannot add right now. But got through at 262, which I think is a PR. Like, it probably is. I don't really know, but I think it is. And then into a sled echo bike workout.
Can Brandon make a comeback after leading the first day of competition?
I can hold my own on the bike for the most part. This sled was giving me some trouble. It was pretty sticky, and I tried not to get too excited on the bike and know that I needed to save something on the sled.
If the lift wasn't your jam, you need to make sure Part B is your jam. Kranikov, the last sled push. Here comes Yellow Hosta.
I got caught up by a couple guys on the last sled because I just didn't have the legs on it.
And this is starting to hurt.
Yeah, when you can barely get your legs to work just to walk the 10 feet to the finish, you can't really ask for much more, so.
That might be the worst one I've ever done. For real.
Really good, dude. She was going to be stoked if she hit 255. She hit 262, so you got to be happy. And then she picked some people off on the bike. Yeah, it is. That's a PR for sure. I mean, dude, she doesn't like the split jerk, so like when you push jerk and it works out, pretty awesome. So
that was solid. I didn't count right your last lift. Was it 376?
11-pound PR.
That's very good. 11-pound PR.
It's compared to what I said in 2017.
What?
That was a PR from blocks in 2017.
No way.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's good. You win.
Nobody's push jerking. My judge was like, he's like, that was so cool. He's like, you don't need no lifters, you don't need no knee sleeves, and you're push jerking. I was like, thanks.
Coming into it, knowing that there's basically 2 tours and then a final, our big focus was essentially to treat this like 6 events out of like maybe 18 to like 22 events, right? So it's really, really important when there's that many points at stake to just be consistent across the board. Like, we didn't need to win anything. We just couldn't take any like 30s or 25ths. And she's done that. She's just been consistent.
It is the 3rd and final day of tour stop number 1 here at the Grand Park Sports Campus. Now we're starting to see a lot of veterans get into the leaderboard. Danielle Brandon sitting in 4th.
I like it. I mean, I'd be curious, like, if a heavy one came up, I think it would go better. But like this weight, I don't think it's that heavy. 305. The games was what, like 405?
Yeah, I remember.
Maybe heavier? Big.
I think I've been planning as if I'm at a level I'm not at right now. So I'm writing some checks my body can't cash, and then I'm kind of fizzling out in the back portion of workouts. So we're gonna try to be a little more conservative to start today, and just try to, you know, just pick your way through the last two and move on to the next tour event, I guess. But.
Ugh. Oh my god, that's so gross. Literally, I can't even believe their mouths touched.
Look at her.
Oh, I just said my armpits were sweaty, and I thought you were talking about me. I was like, okay, sorry, I got sweaty.
You were like, I can't believe this.
I think she's a little jealous. Never gonna sweat again.
I wish I was kissing you.
I get it. She wanted my belt too.
I want your tongue. I'm coming for you, Ariel.
You don't like romance?
What is Eric saying? He's always like, love is so dope. I'm like, ugh, love is sick. Puke.
I don't spend a lot of time in Heat 1. And the first workout of the day was one I was looking forward to on paper. Lots of rope climbs, heavy yoke carry is a pretty good one for me. We took a little more conservative approach. To be honest, that was very appropriate.
I know Alex Kazan is a really good legless rope climber, and then Kringle was next to me, which was nice.
And it's a good battle with the legless to sprint like a rat up a drain pipe.
So I was like racing right with them, and then I think like round 8, I was like, oh, that felt like that legless felt a little sketchy. So I think I pulled back a little bit for rounds 9 and 10, and it paid off because, I mean, one fail and it's over.
Horvath heading back to the rope for the final time. Horvath storming home in the last day and a half.
That's another event where it's like, okay, cool, we can take away from this, like, hey, let's just do a little more legless.
Vellner! I just felt like at the end of it, I didn't have much else to give it in the last couple rounds to like try to kick.
Vellner will be up next. Vellner gets over the line. DB finishing up, 8:52.
Who are you here to see?
I'm an old head, so Pat.
You're here for Patty B?
Yeah, I love Pat. Pat threw me a shirt too.
He threw you a shirt?
Yeah.
What?
I know, right? Sweaty and all.
Does it still have the sweat? Is this fresh?
Oh,
from
yeah,
today?
he wore it from this workout just now. Yeah. So we're excited. My husband's down there watching soccer, but he's here too. So.
Okay, so even though he might not be performing well, you're still supporting him.
I love him.
Being that you're like, you know, a 5 out of 10 right now, I think that was a 10 out of 10 performance for that.
Sad.
It's not sad. It's 1 of 3. It's constructive.
I feel like that's what's kind of bumming me out too. Is like I would have expected everything else to go significantly better. So like going into this event would be like, if I bonk one, no big deal. But instead, I'm bonking like everything.
You didn't bonk everything. I know what you mean, but you didn't bonk everything.
Yeah, that's just like what it feels like. It feels like I have no juice. Like I'm just like I'm tired.
I just feel like I have no battery. Like I feel like I'm moving slow, and I'm tired. Like it's making me like more tired than normal. But I'm moving at like 70% speed. It's just like, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely off this weekend. And I think I'm just not as prepared as I could be. But I tested that in training with a little closer transition because I didn't have the rubber section. But it was like 6 minutes even. And I was like, oh, with the transition, maybe add a minute. But I was like almost 2 minutes. It's like, what was I doing? Like my legs were heavy on the yoke. It feels risky. My grip was bad on the ropes because of my hands. But like a minute worse? Like, I don't know about that. Like reality is a lot of guys are really sharp right now because they've been competing for a couple months now, and I haven't really been. So maybe I'm just not sharp enough, and I'm like on my heels. But yeah, it's frustrating. Maybe only have like a month of like decent training in, but it's just shocking and frustrating.
Look, I think change is hard. I think that, you know, it's not something I'm not prepared for. Like I've thought about it lots. I mean, I've thought about retiring every year for a long time. You know, even things like this, like you have a bad weekend and it bugs you, like that kind of just means that you're like not quite ready. And I don't want to hang on so long that I'm completely non-competitive and I still want to be around for a little longer. I kind of made a decision of when I think I want to finish. The guys are strong, and frankly, like, the competitive field's in good hands. Just like I did to the guys that I displaced, like, that happens. That's natural progression of sport. You can't be naive and think that you're just going to hang around forever. I've enjoyed a much longer and more fruitful career than most, but yeah, it comes to an end, and I think it's fun. The opportunities I get are awesome, and I think I spent 10 years not thinking about it. And, like, not taking it for granted, but just sort of like, you don't really pick your head up sometimes. I'm trying to do a little more of that now, and it's like, you know, there's a limited time window, but I'm gonna try to maximize it as much as I can, and then, you know, squeeze every drop I can, and then when I'm done, have no regrets about it.
And our standings after 5 workouts, it is Alex Gazan on 398s.
Please also bring your IDs with you to corral.
It's hot back here. I'm done.
Stressed.
No, I brought them in. I literally just
It's usually like the ones that you're probably going to do the best on that you're more nervous about. Also, she's tired. It's the last day, so one of those.
Going into the last workout, I was like, okay, looking at this workout, it's a great workout for me. It's a good workout for Ariel, Alexis, like all the people under me. So I was like, fuck, like, but you have a chance to do really well in this workout.
Gazan, Pringle, Horvath, your top 3.
I don't think that there's a better way to finish a final workout than walking lunges. There's always some drama at the end.
Last workout of the weekend was the one that I expected to be my worst one of the weekend. I was down now again to the first heat. Like, I don't spend a lot of time in heat 1.
Vellner, a man with so much experience. Not just experience, but competition experience, which is vital, especially as you come towards the end of a competition.
The heavy double overhead walking lunge is not great for me. I've got some shoulder problems, and
the tension on those arms.
Yeah, you can just see his shoulders are fried. That overhead position, really fighting to keep them overhead.
that's all we got to do is go back to the drawing board.
1 to go, he's on the line, 1 to go.
I got to the thrusters and I wanted to do 12. You had to do 10 and 10. So I was like, I'm gonna do 10, walked it forward, did 2, and then dropped it down. And I was like, I'll take a short break, I'll get chalk. Start going, I get to 18, but I think I'm at 20. And so I start dropping them and she's like, what? Like, no. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm done. And she's like, no, you have 2 more. And I was just like, I honestly don't even know where I'm at. Like, I was like, fair. Like, I actually don't know where I'm at.
This first section of the lunge will tell you right away how well did you pace it and how much do you have in the tank overhead and in those legs.
Then I saw Lucy and I think she picked him up, and then I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna pick him up.
But Lucy Campbell battling with Danielle Brandon. It is going to be Lucy Campbell to finish first, Brandon in second.
And I fucked up the thrusters. Why'd I do that?
Did you miscount?
She crushed that. Wow.
Second place, baby. Hey, Alex, good fucking work, dude. Sorry for swearing again.
No, it's
good job. No.
Do you know my
For real. Good job.
Second place overall?
Yeah, she should take second. I think she'll jump 4th to second. I think she got a lot of help. So, if not 3rd. But
I think so too, yeah.
At least 3rd, but I think 2nd. Yeah. Awesome.
That was sick.
It was sick. It was sick.
She could have won that if she didn't miscount.
I know.
Getting drug tested.
Cooper said he should be enough for second.
Don't get my hopes up.
I'm just saying what Cooper said.
We'll see. Do we know what the first heat got? No.
You know, you can't disrespect a field like this and show up underprepared. And I had stuff going on, and I had my reasons for putting less time into my prep and trying to get healthy, but it shows. I can't have an excuse for it. You can want for more, you can hope for more, but I didn't deserve more. It's the way it goes sometimes. I've been fortunate in my career. I've had more great weekends than bad weekends, but Boy, sometimes a good punch in the teeth is a good reminder for where you need to be and what you need to do to get there. I'm super excited for the rest of the WFP season. I think there was a lot of questions and people were really excited to see what it would be like, and seeing is believing, and everybody was excited to come here and see what it is. How well does it execute? And I think they did an awesome job executing the event. I think all the athletes were really happy. My experience with spectators and volunteers has been awesome. So I think that they've got a good thing going, and hopefully that trend just continues, and you know, any of the naysayers can see that it's a good thing for the space. I think we've got lots to look forward to in Phoenix and lots in Denmark. So I'm excited to just keep trying. I got a lot of climbing to do, so no stranger to it, but there's lots of work to be done.
Have you heard anything?
Nothing.
No?
Like nothing smacked us in the face. So it means like training's going really well. I don't know, like I think the things we need to work on are like not easy improvements, but like I'm excited to train those things. Like I'm excited to continue to get stronger. Continue to work on like gymnastics pulling, and it's all stuff like we would be like, yeah, we haven't been doing that. So it's kind of nice that it's not this big thing that we've been working on and it didn't work, you know? I think I gave like what I had physically. Okay, yeah. Thanks.
So you're hoping right now it's enough for second place?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted top 5.
Wait, that announced at third place already?
Yeah. Thank God, honestly. I was gonna have a mentee B.
What does it even mean?
Huh?
What does it mean now? If they were right now it's third.
Second. I got second. From USA, from Florida.
Are you gonna cry?
No.
The end of WFP Tour Stop number 1. I'm currently second place. I'm excited to keep training. I'm excited to see how much better and more fit I can be at Tour Stop number 2 in Mesa, Arizona. I think it can only go up from here. I think this was a great first start, and you know, there's nothing like really good momentum. You know, you see it all the time, and I'm excited that I get to be on that end of things. Get to start with a second place finish. Got to make money, got to have fun, don't feel too beat up.
If this is the first stop of the WFP, I am so excited to see what's coming up.
Proud of everybody, proud of the athletes for giving a full effort and putting on a pretty cool show.
It was just good vibes the whole weekend, and I think a big part of that is the community.